This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. We had our gazebo got hit by a powerful windstorm during October. Got knocked over and punctured a hole through the top and broke out the connection here. So this is basically like a nut. It used to be pressed in here, and then there was one pressed in here. So we're going to see if we can fix it today to attach this piece back onto this pillar. We're going to figure out the steps necessary. So it looks like first thing is we'll grab onto this one with some pliers or vice grips, and then we'll come over on this side using a ladder to do this, and we use an Allen wrench to, I think it's a Torx. Loosen up this one, take the nut off, and then we'll attempt to get the nut back in here and probably squish this down so it holds this in properly again. We got a pair of vice grips on the nut, and then got this Allen wrench over here. Let's see if we can zip this off. Okay, so I think the nut came off. There we go. And here's our little bolt that goes through. So I think the trick is going to be get this thing to go back in, and I think I'm just going to have to hammer it, and that's going to make it sit in there. That should fix that. And I'll do the same on the top one. So we got the other nut separated, and put it back in there, and then see if we can tap that in with a hammer. Once it's in, we'll tap it even more to try to get this metal to enclose around this lip. And then I think if I tap it, I can get that metal to contort and keep this in position, and then I can put those bolts back in, and we won't need this to hold it. We've got this section out of the way. We've got this little nut back into position. I'm going to see if I can hammer it back in, and then hopefully this metal will go back around this lip. During the storm, when it got blown over, there was so much force that it just bent that metal. Got a hammer. I think any hammer will work. This is just a little ball peen hammer. Tap it in. Yeah, there we go. So that just popped right back into the lip. Now I think if I smack it a few times, it'll hold tighter around that lip. I'm going to secure it from behind. Yeah, that seems good. I think that did the trick. So we'll do the same thing on this one. Here's the other one. Kind of get it in position. You have to hold it a little bit with your thumb. Try not to hammer your thumb. So they just pop right back in. Now I'm going to hit it a little bit more, and that's just going to make that metal grab around it more. Yeah, seems pretty good. So I'll go ahead and put the bolts in now and see if that is going to do the trick. I think so. So you don't have to get a whole new assembly if you end up with this kind of damage. You should be able to redo these and then get the bolts back in. See what happens. Here's our bolt. Get it lined up. Going to go in, and we'll just tighten that up. So I got my driver ready, grabbing this. I'm going to line these back up, and then zip it in. Hey, that one seems okay. So far so good. Put in the bottom one. You get a friend to help you if you have other set of hands would be a little bit better. You gotta line up the bottom one. It's just a little tilted or cattywampus, so just tilt it with your thumb. Try to line it up. Fits in there. There we go. I felt the threads engage. So let's see if I can zip it in. Yeah, I think that did it. Got it. So now we can see these line up good. Got a tight fitting here. And on the other one we had partial damage, so we're going to use the same technique. So on this side we can see the same thing happen, that one of the nuts came out, the bottom one seems okay. So I'm going to disconnect this one and try to repair that upper one. So I'll just zip this bottom one out. There we go. And see if I can hang this okay. Yeah, I think that's all right. And then get this nut off, put it back in. I'm just using my fingers to get this one off. Looks like the bottom one did not pull out during the storm. Next year around October I'm going to remove the canopy, and then I won't have a big sail that will act like a parachute and knock this thing over. So right now it's a couple weeks later, the winds have all died down. So I'm going to put this one back in and just hammer it in. That nut, put it into position. So the hammering, it just makes the metal distort and it grabs in on that lip. Now I can add these bolts back in. Bring this up into position. I'm going to pull this in, try to line it up, and see if I can engage those threads. Yeah, cool. So you can do that with just one person, or a little bit easier if you get a friend or family member to help hold this. Do the same on the bottom one. So the bottom one, I just got to use my thumb to kind of line up that hole better to engage the threads. Should be able to feel it. I think I got the bottom ones engaged. Let's see if I can drive it in now. Yeah. Got it. Cool. Just going to tighten up these other ones. These other ones, they did not pop out, but they're just a little loose. There we go. Get these. All right, I think we're done. This is the canopy that sustained rip damage on this pouch, midway right there. Pretty bad rip here. I think these can be sewn together. I'll have to experiment. These cost about replacement anywhere from say $40 to $150. You buy the actual exact replacement that fits well, it's about $150. Garden Winds is a good company. GardenWinds.com. They'll probably have your gazebo. So I think I can just overlap this a tiny bit and sew it back together. Might work. Got that rip. And I think that's about it. So we'll show you when this is all done.